Good evening. Mineralogical Society of America is the professional organization of mineralogists, and it's a worldwide group. And every 2 years, we solicit nominations for a medal that we call Distinguished Public Service Medal. This year, the winner from a vast number of capable people from around the world is Jolyon Ralph. I'm going to ask Dan King to come up as his citationist and say a few words about him, and then we'll give the award to Joe.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be able to introduce Jolyon Ralph and tell you a little bit about him and why it's a good thing that he is receiving this award. Probably the first thing you need to know is that he invented MNDAT. And what is MNDAT? It is a website that is probably in the top 0.5% of all of the websites in the world that are hit by the public. That is, after you filter out the big websites like Google and Amazon and other places that have a huge commercial interest, MNDAT is one of the largest websites there is. And it is through his efforts that it is so. It is a website that will give you information about minerals in a technical way that is consulted by professional mineralogists. It will tell you about localities in the world. It will tell you all of the variations of pieces of information that are interesting to you. There are loads and loads of photographs to support the text material, and you'll find that there's a great amount of extra material that's available, including public support for the website. There are contributed articles, there are books that you can download that are from the public domain. It is a full-service kind of website. The interesting thing is that Jolyon is building a community. He is a sensitive person to the needs and interests of collectors, professional mineralogists, and the public everywhere. I also want to add one little piece before I finish, is one of the features of MNDAT, in that it has mineral species listed with technical data, there are places where we can have a photograph of people who have had a mineral named for them. I would like to ask, are there any people in the room who have not yet had their photograph appear at MNDAT, and we would like to photograph you tonight for that purpose? If you would raise your hand if you have a mineral named for you, a mineral that has really been named for you. That we have one in the corner. Raise your hands. See me afterwards. We'll photograph at the table next to Jolyon. You can also say hello. I would like to add one last thing, is that because of Jolyon's efforts, mineralogy in the world is thriving and building. I'd like to introduce you to Jolyon Ralph.
Jolyon, on behalf of the Mineralogical Society of America, we give you the 2011 Distinguished Public Service Medal.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Van and Bob, for your kind comments, and thanks also to the Mineralogical Society of America for presenting me with this prestigious award. I hope that Vandal doesn't mind too much that I mention that the first time that I met him was in this very room in 2006 on the Saturday evening of the TGMS show. We were introduced and he gave me a look that can only really be described as mild horror on realising who I was. We exchanged pleasantries and he moved away. The reaction was far from unique back then, on what was my first visit to Tucson. I'd already developed quite a thick skin, because although Mindat had plenty of supporters, it also had quite a number of vocal critics. Those were less than happy that some upstart who knew nothing about mineralogy was building this massive database full of errors. And there were no shortage of people willing to tell me this. One of the first people to contact me was the late Alan Plant. He made it abundantly clear in his first email that I was doing everything wrong in my approach to the collation and distribution of mineral data. My reply to him was the same as to others who complained. Please help me to understand how to do it better, and if you can, help me to fix it. Alan was one of the many who rose to that challenge. And of course there were people from the beginning who could see the potential of what Mindat could become. And over time, many individuals devoted a significant percentage of their free time to help add and correct data on the site. And I've been extremely fortunate to have such a knowledgeable and dedicated team to backing me up on this. There are far too many involved to thank them all individually, but I'm grateful for all of their tremendous efforts. Of course, Mindat hasn't been without its costs. Over the years, Mindat could be best described as a hobby that sometimes pays its way. I haven't quite made my internet millions yet. I've also heard the term Mindat widows used more than once by the frustrated partners of Mindat contributors, a term that my ex-wife Ida would have every right to use. She suffered more than most. I get fewer complaints now than I did then, but thankfully there are still people willing to tell me when they think I'm doing things wrong. And even though now I'll be sorely tempted to reply to complaints with a photo of this medal, I will continue to ask them to explain to them to help. Mindat is a project that by its very nature can never be complete, but one that everyone can help to improve, one small piece at a time. Thank you.
I don't belong in this picture. Frank, is it you? Yes, I'd like to introduce Frank Hawthorne from the Mineralogical Society of Canada, who will be introducing this year's Pinch Medal awardee.
Congratulations, well deserved. I don't know the video on this one. I never took, but I took a ton of pictures. Jessica was doing it. You got video. Excellent.
The Pinch Medal